Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome back to Legend of the Five Rings, the base game, card game unboxing. This is video part 3. If for whatever reason you're hopping into part 3 without checking out parts 1 and 2, just a quick overview was part 1. We went through all the rules. Part 2 and part 3 here, we are going through the Dynasty deck. So we're going through all the cards. They'll be played onto your provinces that act as like your pseudo hand for the game. In the first part, we went through all of, in part 2, part 1 of the Dynasty deck, we went through all the strongholds in the provinces, as well as we went through the first 3 clans, which were the Crab, the Crane, and the Dragon. So now we're going to go ahead and head to the final 4, which are our Lions, our Phoenixes, our Scorpions, our Unicorns, and then all of our unclaimed cards. So we're going to go ahead and just hop right into this. So yeah, if you want to see what's on those other ones, jump back and check out. Then we will come back and we will do probably another 2 videos for the other bunch for the conflict cards. Alright, so we're going to hang up this. For our Lions. So our Lions are, I think our Lions are our military cards. So we have Obstinate Recruit. Bushi. If an opponent is more honorable than you, discard this character. Others might question his pride, assuming it would be his downfall. For him, it was his source of strength. So usually our first cards are like 0-1 cost. They have very low stacks. If they have high stacks, they have a big drawback to them. This is our drawback for this card. Is that if your opponent's more honorable, basically you have to discard this card and you don't get to play them. So yeah, very cool. Then we have another cheapy one. We have the Ikoma Prodigy, which is a courtier reaction. After 1 or more fate is placed on this character, gain 1 honor. Ooh. So you guys face, you can gain some extra honor by keeping this character around. Although it doesn't make sense to drop 6 honor, you're not going to gain, or 6 fate, you're not going to gain more. But at least if you drop 1 on her, you'll at least get some extra honor. She was destined to follow the path of her ancestors, the path of the true Go Sage. Oh, she's playing Go. Aha. Matsuru Berserker. Bushi and Berserker. Berserkers don't have any political skills. When the rage surged forth, none could stand against them. Just a cheap way to get a military card in. Steadfast Samurai. She's a Bushi. Forced reaction. After the fate phase begins, if you have at least 5 or more honor than an opponent, this character cannot be discarded or lose fate this phase. Ooh. So that's kind of neat. As long as you stay honorable, you don't have to necessarily keep dropping a bunch of extra fate on this guy. Low stats, but the fact that you can keep a low stated guy out for quite a while. The Akido Gunso, Bushi, Pride. After this character wins a conflict, honor it. After this character loses a conflict, dishonor it. Reaction. After this character enters play from a province, refill that province face up. Ooh, so nice. You just see what's coming up next right away. Might be a holding as well. Boost up your stats. Or you might be able to play something else right away off of it, because it's still during that turn. We have the Death Seeker, another Bushi. Reaction. After this character loses a conflict as an attacker, sacrifice this character. Choose a character controlled by your opponent. If that character has no fate on it, discard it. Otherwise, remove 1 fate from that character. I shall redeem my name in service to my clan. Oh, so that's a pretty fun card. If they attack and you win, awesome. If they don't, you sacrifice them. Yeah, and then you get to choose a character controlled by your opponent. If that character has no fate on it, you get to discard it. And then, otherwise, it gets to remove 1 fate. So it's either going to get rid of one of their really cheapy cards if they just decide to throw like a last-minute blocker out at you. Or, you get, if they block with something bigger, at least you get to reduce it a little bit more. Venerable Historian. So this one has no military might, which I don't think we've seen yet. Courtier and Scholar. Action. When this character is participating in a conflict, you are more honorable than your opponent. Honor this character. Only by looking to the past can we hope to conquer the future. So it's kind of neat. So we have like the Bushi are our warriors, the Courtier are our political characters, but then we have, to further that, we have Berserkers are military only, and Scholars, it looks like, are going to be political only. So you kind of have like that subclass that determines they won't be able to even do the other thing. We have Kitsu's Spirit Collar. So it's Shugenja Water, so magical water user. Action. During the conflict, battle this character. Choose a character in one of your discard piles. Put that character into play into the conflict. That character is still in play into the conflict. Return it to the bottom of your deck. Ooh, that's fun. Pull this character out, battle them, but then now you get to basically bring back one of your characters for a turn, and then they go to the bottom of your deck. So you're not going to be able to find them again very easily. But it's still pretty cool. Lion's Pride Brawler, Bushi, and Courtier. So there's a little bit of both. Action. As characters are attacking, choose a character with equal or lower military skill than his character, battle that character. Let me put it another way. Nice, this would be that cool. Shove them into a political thing and then have them battle with someone that has a high military stat. Might be neat. Alright, our first unique character is Amatsu Biona. It's a Bushi reaction. If this character enters play, if you control 3 or more other Bushi characters, place 2 fate on this character. Oh, that's fun. So that way they can automatically just have 2 without having to spend extra. That's cool. The Honored General, Bushi, and Commander. How many have we seen Commander yet? During a conflict in this character is participating, each other participating lion character you control gets 1 military might. Reaction. After this character enters play, honor it. Dang, he gets honored, and so he boosts up his stats, and he boosts up all your other characters. That's pretty crazy. Ikomi Iji is our Courtier, so another unique character. Reaction. After you lose a political conflict, put 2 Bushi characters with a printed cost of 3 lore into play from your Dynasty discard pile or provinces. Ooh, that's fun. So yeah, it's a kind of an interesting combo, whether, I don't know how often it would happen. But yeah, it's basically, if you lose a political conflict, if he has 3, so it's not going to be super easy to do, but if you did, put a character that cost of 3 or into your province, and then it might be enough to trigger this guy. You might be enough to maybe boost this guy up. So it's kind of a cool combo you could try and pull off. Akaido Tatari. So they're big 5 cost Bushi champions. So far everyone's had a champion. Reaction. After you claim a ring during a military conflict in which this characters participate and resolve that ring's effect. A lion is more than his roar. His mane, his teeth, his heart. A lion is all of these. Nice. Then we have a holding card. Staging Ground. Action. Choose up to 2 face down cards in your province. Turn 1 chosen card face up. Nice. Just lets you get access to those cards a little bit more often. Or see what you have. Now, one thing I did want to notice with this is, you notice most of these colors have colors or clans have only had 1 or 2 holding cards. You might be like, but they boost up your provinces. Why wouldn't you want multiple of them? Because once these are face up, I don't believe you put another card face down on top of them. So if you only have a hand of, basically a hand of 4 cards on your provinces, if you have 4 holdings out, you wouldn't have any more cards to play. So the holdings are pretty cool. You don't want to have a ton of them, otherwise you're going to limit what you have access to. So cool. Alright, we're going to look at our next clan, which is the Phoenix clan, which is kind of this orange color. We have Naive Student, Courtier, and Scholar. Sincerity. When this character leaves play, draw a card. Your first lesson is to realize that the facts alone cannot sway the soul. Sako Hayate. Look at this guy's stats. 4 military. Shiba, Peacemaker. Bushi, character not participate in conflicts as an attacker. Only defender, but that's a pretty good defender. A lifetime of peace is worth a moment of war. Solemn Scholar. Okay, so here I have a scholar that does have a military thing. So it does maybe necessarily mean it's going to kind of pertain that way, but it's not going to cut them off completely all the time. Shugenja for Earth. Action. During a conflict, if the Earth ring is your claimed ring pool, choose an attacking character, bow that character. This is the first time we've seen a ring mentioned specifically. Or an elemental specifically. So this means if you're playing the Phoenix, at least as of right now, you're gonna maybe try and want to get the with this character, specifically be picking out the Earth ring to try and gain bonuses for that. I think I just want to double check on this. That was the stronghold. Yeah. So I didn't want to jump back and look at this. I thought the province here is that during a conflict at this province, switch the contested ring with an unclaimed ring, or switch the conflict type. So there's something like this could be really cool to combine with this if you have this province available, because you could switch it during conflict. It says if that ring's in your claim pool, if someone declares like air, for example, and you know you're gonna win, you could switch it to Earth, right? Or you could switch it to Earth if you wanted. If you have this character, like, you could already switch and try and get Earth to get this. You could use that to try and switch some of these around to be able to get access to them different rings. That's pretty cool. We have Adept of the Waves, Shugenja Water. Choose a character to then the phase that character gains covert during water conflicts. So if you're conflicting with a water element, they get covert, which means we saw that in one of the very early cards. I'm gonna try and find it to see exactly what the text says. Right here. Just so we can go there. Covert. When this character attacks, choose one character without covert. That character cannot be declared as a defender. So yes, as long as this character is doing a water conflict, they can't be blocked against. They can stop someone else from blocking them. Water is flexible and yielding, yet none can withstand the crashing waves. So, Exodo Diplomat, Courtier. Reaction: after this character wins a conflict, choose a character, honor or dishonor that character. Very simple, very cool. Meddling Mediator. Courtier, action. If an opponent declares 2 or more conflicts against you to space, select one. Take one fate or honor from that opponent. Ooh, so it's gonna punish them if they do it a second time. A Radiant Orator. Action. When those characters participating in a conflict, if you count more current glory than your opponents among ready participating characters, choose an enemy character, move that character home. Interesting. So if you have more glory, you can basically help you win conflicts. Serene Warrior, very straightforward, just a Bushi. Look at 4 glory, so I'll definitely help you. The real battle is fought against oneself. Shiba Yojimbo, Bushi and Yojimbo. Interrupt. When the effects of a triggered ability target a Shugenja you control would initiate, cancel those effects. Oh, so this is kind of cool. So this person specifically protects your Shugenja. Your Shugenja. I always mess that word up. Asawa Masahiro, which is another Shugenja, fire. During a fire conflict, bow this character. Choose a participating character. The printed cost of 2 or lower, discard that character. The Kami are my allies. How can you hope to stand against me? So this is kind of neat. So the Phoenix has this fun dynamic of they're going to gain bonuses depending on the type of conflicts. So their ability is going to be really powerful at certain times, then the rest of the times they're not going to be powerful. So that's going to kind of make them very interesting to play as. Fearsome Mystic, Shugenja Air. Character gets +2 glory during air conflicts. And actionless, characters participating in a conflict move 1 fate from each participating character your opponent controls with lower glory than this character. Ooh. So if you have a way of upping her glory, which right there does that, she can up it to 3. That means when she attacks in an air conflict, all your opponents with 2 or less, like two or less glory, automatically lose a fate, which means you could eliminate them at the end of the round. That's cool. Aisawa Axero, so another unique character. Shugenja Void. During a Void conflict, until the end of the conflict, each participating character you control gets military and political, and each participating character your opponent controls gets -1 each. That's neat. Shiba Kusukune, Bushi and our champion. Interrupt. Well, the conflict phase ends. Resolve the ring effect of up to 2 unclaimed rings as if you were the attacking player. I will do my best. Ooh, get 2 double bonuses. And then our holding for this color or clan is the Forgotten Library, which is a library and a shrine. Reaction. After the draw phase begins, draw a card. Truth cannot be lost, only forgotten. Hey, doesn't add any bonuses, but it gets you an extra card every turn, which can be very powerful. That is a very interesting clan. We have another one that's very interesting as well. They're all interesting, but this is kind of neat as well. It's not as straightforward. Like, we had Crane, which is political. Crab, which is very kind of defense, but military. Lion, which is more attacking military. The Dragon Clan, which had to do with more of attachments and stuff. This one is a very sneaky one, the Scorpions. We have a Beishi Liar, who has Courtier, Sincerity, and this character leaves play, draw a card. A bunch of political might right away. I sincerely doubt that asking you to trust me will change your mind, and yet I asked anyway. The Bayushi Manipulator. So Bayushi is probably like one of the groups or like families. He's pouring some sort of poison. Courtier Reaction. The honor dials are revealed. Increase the value of your bid by 1. Interesting. Victory does not always go to the strongest of the 2 opponents. Bayushi's lies. The Sinister Shoshi, who has no skill points at all. Shugenja Air. During a conflict, choose a participating character. That character gets -2 military and political until the end of conflict. Just straight up shuts people down. The Blackmail Artist. This is a courtier. Reaction. After this character wins a political conflict, take 1 honor from your opponent. The real art lies in convincing your mark that you are bound by duty, by honor, to expose him, at which point buying you off becomes his idea. Ha! So you trick them into paying for you. That's cool. The Shoji Illusionist. Shugenja Air. Action. Spend 1 fate. Choose a character. Discard a status token from that character. People see only what they hope to see. Nice. So it's going to be really cool because you could get rid of someone else's honored token, or you could get rid of one of your dishonored tokens. Yogo Outcast. Shugenja Air. This character gains 1 military and political while you are less honorable than your opponent. Long ago, the Dark Kami himself cursed those carrying the Yogo bloodline to never betray the one they love the most. Interesting. So if you are losing, this character gets a little bit more powerful. Young Rumormonger, Courtier. Interrupt. When a character would be honored or dishonored, choose another character controlled by the same player. That character receives honored or dishonored instead. Interesting. So basically, if someone would become honored or honored, you can instead make somebody else honored or dishonored. That's fun. Favored Niece, Courtier. Action. Choose and discard one card from your hand. Draw a card. Limit twice per round. Not once in your life actually needed to ask twice. Drawing cards, always a good thing. You got something you don't need? Great. Shosuro Actress. Shinobi and Courtier. So Shinobis are, of course, ninjas. First time we've seen this keyword. Action. During a conflict, sacrifice this character. Choose a non-Shinobi character. The printed cost of 3 or lower in your opponent's discard pile. Put that character into conflict under your control. What? She turns into another character. That's fantastic. Shishiro Maeko. She's another Bushi and Shinobi. Hiding in the snow, that's pretty cool. Reaction. After you play this character from your hand, your opponent must select one. Discard one card at random from his or her hand, or after you play a character from your hand, so not this character, but you play another character from your conflict stuff, your opponent must select one. Discard one card at random from his or her hand, or choose and dishonor a character he or she controls. That's cool. Here we have a unique character, Bayushi Yunako, who's a Bushi and commander. While this character is participating in a conflict, chose a character. Switch that character's base, military, and political skill until the end of conflict. Ooh, that's fun. So you can boost up your own character or hurt somebody else. That's awesome. Another unique character, Yogo Hirio. Courtier. While this character is participating in a conflict, choose a non-participating character. Move that character to this conflict. Then if you win the conflict, you may dishonor that character. Interesting. So ideally it'd be as like, you know you're gonna win, right? Bring one of your opponent's characters in and then you can dishonor them, right? Ideally though, here's another interesting trick though, right? When a character be honored or dishonored, choose another character controlled by the same player. That character receives the honor or dishonor instead. So use this. Bring in one of your own characters. If you win the conflict, you may dishonor that character, right? Why would you want to dishonor your own character? Use him then. So instead of dishonoring the character, that character you just brought in, you could dishonor a different one of your characters. So, like, I could bring in a powerful character, instead of dishonoring them, dishonor one of my lower characters. It's probably going to lose anyhow. Or that might gain a bonus from being dishonored. So, interesting combos. Daishi Shoju, Bushido, Courier, and Champion. So, here's our champion for the Scorpion Clan. Actionless characters participating in a political conflict. Choose a participating character controlled by your opponent. To the end of the conflict, that character gets -1 political and discards its political if its political skill is 0. Limit twice per round. Believe in what you true is only sensible. And then the holding is City of Lies. Reduce the cost of the next event you play this phase by 1. And Roko Awara Toshi Koku could have paved any road. So it's kind of neat. So these guys are also very, very political involved, more than military, but they're also doing a lot of stuff manipulating stats. So yeah, we have like 2 political kind of guys. One is, one that's high power, one that's manipulating stats. We have 2 military guys, one defending, one kind of attacking. Then we have one group that really plays on attachments and bonusing up, building up guys. And then we have our last group, which is going to be the unicorns, which are all about cavalry. So we have multiple youth, Bushi and cavalry. So cavalry, of course, being horse riding. This character gets +1 military during the first conflict each round. Strike their enemies with such speed they cannot strike back. So pretty fun. Yutaka Infantry, another Bushi. Well, this character is participating in a conflict. It gets +1 military and political for each participating unicorn character you control. So we did see with their one province. or sorry, it was their stronghold. During a military conflict, you can choose a cavalry carrier and move it to that conflict, right? So if this guy's in there, you can get a bonus because you could add another character in if you needed to give him that extra boost. Aggressive Moto, Bushi and Cavalry. This character will not be declared as a defender. But notice, he still does have stats, so he still can do political stuff if he wants to. He just can't be a defender. Border Rider, Bushi and Cavalry, action, ready this character. Ride the horizon and back again. Only then can you bring the Comprehend the Unicorn. Just a sponge. Basically, they can attack or defend, and then you can ready them, and they can be ready for the next round. Mishido Wielder, Shugenja Water. Reduce the cost to play this character by 1 while you are the first player. Know the kami's name and bend it to my will. So these guys are getting a lot of benefits from doing stuff first, basically acting first, which is pretty cool. Not being reactionary, more or less. Shinjo Outrider, Bushi, Cavalry, and Scout. Action. During a conflict, move this character to the conflict. I'm on my way. So again, adding a guy into there. Giver of Gifts. Courtier. Choose an attachment you control. Move that attachment to an eligible character you control. Nice. Move stuff around. The Eyed Trader. This is another courtier. Reaction. After one or more characters moves to a conflict in which this character is participating, select one, gain 1 fate, or draw 1 card. It doesn't move you guys along, so gaining extra fate or drawing cards. Depending, do you need to play more stuff, or do you need to potentially you have enough fate and you need to play more things? Need more options. Warrior Poet, Bushi, and Cavalry. While as characters participating in a conflict, each participating character controlled by your opponent gets -1 political and military might till the end of the conflict. Our unique character, Yutaka Yumino. Bushi, Battle Maiden, and Cavalry. I haven't seen Battle Maidens before. Action. During a conflict, discard a card from your hand. This character is +2 military and political until the end of your conflict. Nice. And we have other cards that let us draw, so it might not be too much of a loss. The Moto Horde, which is a flavor text on a different card with that 6 military. Bushi, Army, and Cavalry. No attachments except weapons. Felled by swords and trampled by hooves. To face them was to face death. Shinjo Tatsu. Bushi, Cavalry, and Scout. Action. During a conflict, choose this character and up to 1 other character you control, move those characters to the conflict. So again, these guys like to just add more guys in. So basically, if you're losing, rather than trying to play events or other actions to boost stuff up, you can just move some of your guys that are already available into combat. So your opponent always has to be wary of that. And their last card for the Unicorn, they do not get a holding card. And that's because they're on like the way boarding, and they're not worried about like having as much permanent things sitting around. So Shinjo Altasarene, Bushi, Cavalry, and our champions. Each class has had a champion. Reaction. After you break a province during a military conflict, which this character is participating, your opponent chooses a character he or she controls and discards that character. So it's a great way to get rid of your cards so they can't come back at you. This speed will not be broken in rain to saddle, nor will I compromise my clan in the name of peace. Alright, so now we're going to jump into the unclaimed cards. Now we do get 3 copies of most of these. I thought we got 2. We got 3 copies. So again, if you buy multiple decks, you're going to have a lot of extra. But what is nice, again, if you bought 2 sets of these, that means each player would have 3 copies of each of these cards, so they can easily add a full set into their deck if they wanted to. Or you could be like, oh, I could add 1 to mine. If you each had, if you had 6 right now, if you had 3 copies total, that means either you can each add 1, and then 1 player could add 2, or you only get 1 each, or you can go through and change it so you can, again, get a second set. You can now both add up to 3. But again, now if you buy a 3rd set, now you have 3 extra cards you don't really ever have access to. We have Otama Courier, Courier Imperial. His character not participate in conflicts as an attacker against players that control the Imperial favor. So I speak with the voice of the Son of the Emperor, or Son of the Heaven. Yeah, so pretty cool. You guys add using an extra deck to help fill out your decks. We have Sepuhung Guardsman. So yeah, this is kind of weird. So we have 3 copies of that, 3 copies of that. I don't think we're going to get 3 copies of all of them. We have 3 copies of some of them. So I'll kind of keep an eye on which ones we do and don't. Or I'm just missing a card, because I only got 2 of the initiates, but we'll see what happens. Septicum Guardsman, Bushi and Imperial. This character cannot participate in conflicts as an attacker against a player that controls the Imperial favor. These are basically opposite cards of each other. One has military, one has political, but they can't be an attacker against the Imperial favor. We only had 2 copies of the Keeper Initiate, which has 1 and 1, which is the Keeper roll only reaction. If you claim a ring that matches the element of your role, put this character into play from your Dynasty, discard pile, or provinces. Then put 1 fate on this character. So, we haven't looked at these too much, but we do have role cards. They're basically just extra cards you can opt to play, which give you, like, additional starting abilities, like increasing your deck building influence by 3, or giving you different bonuses for doing different things for each element. They're optional to play as, so I don't know if each player has to agree to have them, but keep that in mind if you aren't using it. And then one side's a Keeper, and then one side is a Seeker. So basically there's the 5 elements, and there's 5 ones. There's 10 different options to have depending on which one you take. Might depend if you can even use this card or not. So we have 3 copies of Mia Mystic, Shingenja, Earth, and Imperial. Action. During a conflict phase, sacrifice this character. Choosing attachment, discard that attachment. Most of my family speaks to citizens of the Empire. I speak to the commies of the land itself. So that nice cheap card that's going to let you get rid of him, sacrifice him basically, to get rid of someone's attachment, which could be very helpful. We have 2 copies of the Seeker Initiate. So we have the Keeper and the Seeker one. So this is a Monk, Seeker roll only. After you claim a ring that matches an element of your roll, search the top 5 cards of your conflict deck for a card and add it to your hand and shuffle. So this could be very helpful if you're trying to do that. 3 copies of the Wandering Ronin, Bushi and Ronin, which means masterless samurai, more or less. During a conflict, remove 1 fate from this character. It gets +2 military or political until the end of the conflict, limit twice per conflict. So basically, the more fate you put on this guy, the more powerful he could become, but it limits how long he'll be out. Then we have some generic holdings. We have 2 copies of Favorable Ground. Action. During a conflict, sacrifice this holding. Choose a character you control, move that character to the conflict, or home from the conflict. It's very cool. Helps you out there. And then we have 2 copies of the Imperial Storehouse. Imperial action sacrifices holding to draw a card. So again, some of these cards have sacrificing effect, especially the holdings that have it aren't necessarily bad, because if you have too many, you don't get to replace the cards on top of them. So that's what we have there. So those are all of our Dynasty cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed parts 1 through 3 so far. Come back, check out the next 2 parts. We'll go through all the conflict cards that you'll have. More cards from every clan. Less cards for each one. But we'll have some more. But we'll have some event cards and some attachments. So we get some of those other fun stuff. Plus some other really cool characters. See you guys then.